Here.
Senator Abrams,
Here.
Senator Arias Gomez,
Here.
Senator Atias, Senator Basilio, Senator Cabrera Figueroa, Senator Contreras. Oh, great. Yeah, can you grab that one? Just for the feed.
Here.
Thank you. Senator Cunanan, Senator Dominguez,
Here.
Senator Garcia,
Here.
Senator Gavino, Senator Cachadia,
Here.
Senator Katka,
Here.
Senator Mane,
Here.
Senator Quiroga,
Here.
Senator Ramirez,
Here.
Senator Umana,
Here.
and Senator Vicente.
Here.
Okay, thank you. We have quorum.
Okay. Okay, thank you. We will now move over to the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion on the floor? Senator Arias Gomez.
I move to approve the agenda for November 10, 2025.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Dominguez. Is there any discussion? Okay, seeing and hearing none. If there are no objections, we will approve the agenda unanimously. Okay, thank you. We will now move over to the approval of the minutes. Is there a motion on the floor? Senator Omana.
I move to approve the minutes for November 3rd, 2025.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Quiroga. Is there any discussion? Okay, seeing and hearing none. If there are no objections, we will approve the minutes for November 3rd, 2025 unanimously. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. We will move past special presentation into open forum. Open forum is intended as an opportunity for any member of the public to address the Associated Student Senate regarding any issues affecting CSUN students. Speakers are allowed 3 minutes each to speak. Please sign in using the clipboard for minute recording purposes. Hello, James. I heard your Rams won.
Yeah, I saw, unfortunately, your Seahawks also won, which means we're both tied at the top of the NFC West. So, but shout out to the 49ers losing. I know, Vicky, you're not here. Maybe you're watching the live stream. Sorry. But, and also John Valdez, also a 49ers fan. So when you see John Valdez and Vicky, you can tell them that I said go Rams. This way you won't get in trouble, just me. Well, good morning, everyone. I'm here to just give you all our programming updates for this week. So first things first, tomorrow is Veterans Day, so the campus is closed, which means there is no farmers market this week. So if you rely on the farmers market on Tuesday, if you are going to be here around on campus for whatever reason, just note that the market will not be here as the campus is closed for tomorrow. On Wednesday, we will be hosting our big lecture event with special speaker Victoria Justice, who will be coming to campus. So for any of you that are attending that event, just know the timeline for that event. So doors open at 6:30. The event will be hosted in the Plaza del Sol Performance Hall, which is located here in the USU, those big steps right above the Northridge Center. So doors will open at 6:30. The standby line, if you are looking to do a standby line, we'll start letting people in at 7:05. If you have a ticket, you have between 6:30 and 7:05 to arrive. Victoria Justice will go on stage at 7:15. At around 8 o'clock, we'll switch to the audience Q&A, which we'll use via QR code to kind of get those questions. And then the show will be over around 8:30. So again, if any of you are interested in attending those events, the standby line will open at 5 p.m. So if you're looking to do that, you can get in line as early as 5. And then at 7:05, we'll start letting people in. So that is the plan for this event. And that is on this upcoming Wednesday. Once again, big lecture with Victoria Justice. And then on Thursday, if the weather permits, our annual Thursday thrift event will be happening out on Baramian Lawn from 10 to 2. I say that as of right now, it's supposed to rain all day Thursday. So if the rain is there, we will not be out there, but TBD on that. So thank you all so much, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here for open forum?
Hi, my name is Susan Laporte, and it's nice to meet you guys. I am a second year business honors student that is majoring in business administration with a concentration in management and a minor in marketing. And I want to go to law school. What else? I would like to work as Lobby Corp because I do want to make big changes and I do want to help out with the community because I feel like there are a lot of people that don't get enough information, especially in politics and policies, and I want to help spread the word and clear communication as much as I can with students and policymakers so then we can all unite as a community and grow all together. And so then everything can be fair for everyone and for all. Um, yeah. I believe that policy is one of the most powerful tools for change, especially when students are affected by them. I'm eager to advocate for issues that matter to students, like equitable access to higher education and supporting student entrepreneurship and cultural representation. Through this position as Lobby Corps member, I plan on building a stronger communication, like how I said, between students and policymakers. I'm looking forward to increasing student awareness of local government initiatives to prevent the spread of misinformation, especially in politics. I'm eager to learn from other students, leaders, and collaborate to make meaningful progress towards policies that affect our campus and education systems overall. So it's a pleasure to meet you all, and yeah, thank you. Any questions? Can I answer them? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here for open forum?
Hi, my name is Didio Karake. I'm a first year political science major, and I am interested in Lobby Corps, mainly because I've really realized advocacy is a really important it's a really important step to really connecting government officials and like the general public, but especially in the university aspect of connecting the student body with resources. One way that I really see that happening is through things like tuition and transportation, as you can't really get here without having transportation. So one thing that I'm really interested in is finding ways to make transportation more accessible to students, as well as maybe finding different ways to also lower tuition in the process. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here for open forum? Okay, seeing and hearing none, we will move over to reports, starting with mine. Hello, everyone. I hope you are all having a wonderful fall semester. Now that it's coming to an end, we have about four more meetings together. So I'm excited to have those last few meetings and end my semester with all of you. I just wanted to start off by giving a shout out to our CSUN women's basketball team who opened up their season with a 103-13 final score. That is an insane number, and all I could say is Matadors know how to do it. I started off my week with a meeting with President Beck and Dr. Watkins, along with our Vice President Jimeniano Aragon. We talked about various different things, ranging from concerns with DPS and how they've handled certain situations, as well as how we can create more transparency and collaboration opportunities between DPS and the student body, as well as associated students as a whole. We also got a few updates in regards to what our university is doing with students who rely on EBT and SNAP in order to be able to just fulfill any of their basic needs. One of the things that our university is going to be doing is President Beck has allocated $137,000 to backfill any needs that students might have in regards to their EBT and their SNAP benefits. So each student will be getting a $250 credit to be able to use at any grocery stores, and then students that come from families will be receiving a $350 credit. This is in order to make sure that students that are missing out on their EBT for the month of November at least get it from CSUN. So we will be supporting them in that aspect. We had our TUC Board of Directors meeting where we received some updates in regards to some land, I want to say. I forgot what some real estate that the TUC has access to that is going to be constructed into uh affordable faculty housing around campus, as well as the progress that they have made for the soccer field that is north of campus. If any of you guys know, next to the parking lot next to the dorms, there's a soccer field that was constructed by the TUC to kind of give back to the community and to be able to give access to the community who has kids that want to play soccer within the valley so that they have a field. We also approved a contract with Barnes and Noble for the bookstore to receive more books and more access to different things. I was a little bit confused. I didn't have time to ask for elaboration just because this was, I guess their third or fourth meeting talking about this contract, so I didn't really get to ask any questions. I attended the Giving Day Planning Committee where I found out that they will be creating a program to encourage students to be CSUN ambassadors for Giving Day, as they believe that CSUN students are able to give a lot more marketing and visibility to the campus in regards to Giving Day. So if any of you guys are interested in being CSUN ambassadors for Giving Day, please let me know and we can give you that information. It is a great opportunity to help kind of create more visibility for any of the departments or any of your colleges as well. I attended Faculty Senate where we discussed mainly AI policy and more about the collaboration between faculty and CSUN in regards to AI policy. The Academic Technology Committee, I unfortunately could not attend this meeting because it did conflict with the ACUI conference. So this last weekend, Vice President Geminiano Aragon and I attended the ACUI conference, and we got to network and just talk to different student unions across not only California, but across the West. So we got to interact with the University of New Mexico, the University of Las Vegas, the University of Arizona, and we learned about different opportunities that they give their students, as well as different initiatives that they are bringing into their campus. And we got to see a presentation from our own USU in regards to the Dream Center Fellowship. And it opened up the conversation on how we can better support our undocumented students, not only within CSUN, but within the CSU as a whole. So I'm excited for those conversations to continue. I attended the CSSA November plenary on the 8th. For Finance Committee, we mainly discussed how our organization is trying to cut back on a lot of costs to make sure that we don't have to dip into our reserves. And so far, it's looking like we're going to be able to at least break even so that the spending doesn't go into our reserves. And that is due to the efforts of the organization and as well as our Vice President of Finance, who are trying to find different ways to save money, as well as changing the dates for our chess conference, which comes up in March, changing the dates and making it so that instead of having the conference in Sacramento, like near the capital, we will be having the conference at Sac State instead. So that was one of the main changes, and we had more conversation on how we can improve surf fee visibility, as well as how we can make sure that there's other forms of funding for the organization so that the conversation on increasing that surf fee is not something that happens within the next 5 years. And then for Board of Directors, we approved a CSU AI initiative white paper, which was mainly in discussion in the System-Wide Affairs Committee, so I won't go too much into it. And we just gave back some feedback for the student trustees. And that's about it. It was a pretty hectic week. Looking into this week, it looks like I will be attending the academic advising committee. A committee, oh my God, an advising meeting with Cindy and our Vice President, Geminiano Aragon. I will be moderating a discussion for the CSAC 13th Annual Affordability Summit in regards to how our students are accessing basic needs and what our universities can do better. We will be having a check-in with our executive director. I will be attending the CSUN Academic Calendar Committee, and our CFAC meeting is on Friday. And that is about it for my report. I'm so sorry if my voice is a little off. I was sick last week and I'm just now recovering. But yeah, are there any questions on my report? Senator Diaz-Gomez.
In terms of the EBTE credits, how can students get those again?
I believe right now what the university is looking at is any student that, because those needs are reported to financial aid. So the university is accessing through financial aid to send out like that mass email saying, hey, like if you are someone that is missing your EBT or will not have access to your EBT for the month of November, please let us know. We will give you that credit ourselves. So I believe right now is that the process, but Vice President Geminiano Aragon?
Yes, so those students who already applied and who already have those financial support were not supposed to get that money for the month of November. So CSUN had the funds until the month of October. So that's the amount of money, the 137,000 that President Beck allotted just for the month of November. They are going to be, the students will be receiving that in the form of a gift card. And they are very well familiar with how that looks like because that's how they do it usually for the summer term. The last thing to add that Kiri hasn't mentioned is that this is not going to be reported to their financial aid, so it will not affect any of their already granted money.
Thank you. Thank you. Are there any other questions? Okay, seeing and hearing none, we will move over to Vice President Geminiano Aragon's report.
Thank you, President Sarabia. Good morning, everyone. I hope that everyone is well. To start my report, President Sarabia and I met with President Beck and Dr. Watkins. So we discussed on CSUN students' well-being and also a little bit of AI, as well as the CalFresh and EBT and SNAP cuts. I also finalized steps for the student-led AI workshops, so I will be conducting that next week over Zoom. I also sat on the Student Systems Committee where we got updates on digital platforms that different entities use. One of the discussion points was EAB platform and discussing how it's effective, how different departments use it for it being effective. A lot of what I brought up for feedback was how different advising hubs have different ways of allotting or like scheduling your advising meeting. So some of them is through a phone call, some of the others is like through a Google form, and some others is through EAB. So if we get to standardize that, that will make life much easier for all students. I also attended the Orchard Catering Showcase, where they featured their seasonal menu, but they also presented on their affordable options for students. We had our weekly check-ins with the executive director, and right now I am soft launching the homecoming for next semester if everything goes well. So we also met with Provost Kamaraju and Vice Provost Bora, and where we discussed on advising initiatives. We advocated for senators being involved in the college's administrative meetings. So hopefully that'll be an implementation. We had AI updates and compliance, as well as advocating for students that might have problems within their classroom settings with AI. Shout out to all of you all, because Provost Kamaraju told me that all of the deans have expressed that every single senator is reaching out to them, is communicating with them. So, good job with that. As a reminder, if you're going to be meeting with your dean, make sure you forward me the proof of that so that I can keep track of it, especially, so forward that to me and Sivansh. I attended the ACUI conference with President Beck, with President Sarabia. And the USUBOD representatives. I networked with students and staff across the CSU system, but also across the federal state. So there were like people from Arizona, New Mexico. Very informative conference. So I learned about formalizing operations and measuring the effectivity of our programming. So I'll be trying to implement some of the stuff that I learned over there. So one of the main things that I want to implement is kind of formalizing our ROI. So that way, whenever you have your event, please make sure that you have a QR code for people checking in. I just want to have the head count of how many students are coming into your event. And senators should also be checking in if you are helping them. And also Denise can help you with that QR code form for checking in. I attended the CSSA November plenary. So the first meeting I attended was the central engagement meeting where we discussed on cuts from CalFresh and SNAP and how different campuses are responding to it. I also sat on the System-Wide Affairs Committee where we approved the CSSA AI white paper with the ideas and advocacy principles from all CSU leaders. So there are 5 main pillars, some of them being equity, access, and implementation, academic integrity, grading, and classroom consistency, privacy, data security, and transparency, sustainability and environmental responsibility, mental health ethics and accountability, and governance oversight and student inclusion. So the paper has already been approved by the board. However, it has not been public. So once Vice President of System-Wide Affairs, Katie Karoum, formalizes that, she will be publicizing that. However, I highly encouraged her to make sure that we include the student-led survey results. So I let her know that we are in the process of gathering that information so that she can include our feedback and how students are responding to AI from CSUN. Okay, so here is some very important information that are updates on the implementation of SB 98 across the CSUs. The Chancellor's Office just advised all of the CSU campuses on how to implement SB 98. So SB 98 requires CSU campuses to send notification when confirmed immigration enforcement action has taken place. Notifications will include date and time of the enforcement when confirmed, the location, and resources for the on-campus community. This is also, SB 98 is also an urgency clause. That means that once it became law on September 20, 2025, it was immediately put into implementation. There was an implementation guideline with some recommendations from the Chancellor's Office. The first one defining what immigration enforcement activity is, and they have 2 different categories. The first one being active, where there is apprehension, arrest, detention, or presence of immigration to stage for an action. So even if an arrest didn't take place, but they're still staging on campus, for instance, we know of a campus that ICE was staging at the parking lot. That one is considered active. The other is compliance. So this is just a physical presence of ICE on campus, but due to different reasons, the main one being audits. The Chancellor's Office encouraged campuses to still develop a communication flow for activities where officers may be attending events, training, etc. So for these type of alerts, they suggested an opt-in process that isn't tied to a CSUN email enrollment. But the Chancellor's Office also provided flexibility based on the campus resources and practices. Another thing that the Chancellor's Office will recommend to each campus is each notification, when to send that, what to include, and there are different tiers that they have depending on, once again, active or compliant. And that the Chancellor's Office also required each campus to provide supportive measures for students impacted by immigration enforcement actions. Okay, so if you have any other further question, please reach out to me afterwards and we can for sure discuss on that. Finally, I am completing my Mental Health Monday Day plans for the housing event that we will be hosting. Now, these, please, everyone pay attention to it. It's our last reminders for me. Last week, everyone received an email from the Attorney General with the status of your attendance. So this was a standardized email so that everyone is aware of what your standing looks like. If there are any discrepancies, please let me know. And this week's, you will be getting another email with the status of three main things: the meetings with your deans, the report delivery, and the event. For clarification purposes, the Attorney General help us keeping track of your office hours and the appropriate completion of them. Requests for excusal and moving hours must be approved by me, and I will deliver that to Kiri if she needs to also approve that. Tuesday, November 11th is better than today, so tomorrow, if you have set up office hours on Tuesdays, they're going to be excused and there's no need to make them up. Council of Chairs will be next Monday, November 17, so chairs and vice chairs attendance is expected. The last day to submit legislative referrals is Monday, November 17, so that is next Monday. November Senate reports are due today at 12 p.m. As of yesterday, only 2 of you had submitted that, so please make sure you submit that before 12 p.m. If you have any other questions, anything you'd like me to help you with, please let me know.
Yay! Are there any questions on the Vice President's report? Senator Romano?
Just one brief question regarding the ICE notifications. Does that apply for only on campus, or would we be notified if they're active, let's say like within 1 mile radius of campus?
Should be on campus.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Okay, seeing and hearing none, we will move over to our Chief of Staff, Boberg.
All right, everyone. Hope we're having a good day so far. I'll just get right into it. So this was a busy week for me as I had our bi-weekly cabinet one-on-ones. Unfortunately, due to traveling, shout out Model UN, but I was unable to meet with a few of our cabinet members, although I do plan to have some supplemental meetings this week. I also attended University Affairs, External Affairs, and DEI committee this week, where they continue to do great work, and excited to see what the end of the semester looks like. We also had big party last week, which I hope everyone did their civic duty and voted. But I was able to table at that event with our Chair of Legislative Affairs, where we gathered valuable student input, which we plan to bring to CHES next semester. I also attended several senator events, which I greatly enjoyed, and I hope to attend those that are coming in the future. And I hope to maybe see these events as an avenue for cabinet to also table and further student engagement. So please reach out to me if you're interested in any of the cabinet members tabling at your events. And I also chaired our weekly cabinet meeting where we shared reports and discussed several key projects for the remainder of the semester. And then I'll move on to our Chair of Legislative Affairs. So this week he had the opportunity to meet with the Sundial team with Senator Cabrera Figueroa and Chair Douglas to talk about Senate Bill 2025-2026-001. They had a long discussion about the logistics of the bill and were able to make a good connection with the lovely folks at the Sundial. He also had his one-on-one with me, where he confirmed plans for upcoming tabling and just some more stuff for the semester. For Big Party, Lobby Corps tabled for the event, which I already mentioned, where they gave out free t-shirts and were able to garner input on several key issues on campus. The main thing that we heard for the most part from students was about campus safety, yeah, and cost of living. And then he also sat in on the interviews for his final 2 Lobby Corps members, which are here today. And then he also attended the Library Faculty Senate meeting, which they had a presentation on the Creative Makerspace, which offers a lot of resources, which seem very useful. So everyone should go and rent out their cool equipment, is what he's saying. All right, and then this upcoming week, he'll be having his Lobby Corps meeting later today from 3 to 4. And he also encourages everyone to attend if they can. And then he'll also be in discussions with Glenn Bailey over at the Northridge Neighborhood East Council to talk about some plans and cross collaborations. Right. Then we'll go on to our chair of DEI. So this week she met with the Muslim Student Association Vice President and the Deaf Studies Association for an introductory meeting. She's also working on seeing how we can have a prayer space in the East Conference Center. She's also working with the Deaf Studies Association to do collaboration events for spring promoting mental health. And she's going to meet with Denise and the DEI committee to discuss their hoodie designs. And then she also is planning a self-care handout during finals week and campus safety questions through a survey. And then she'll also be working with Natalie in the USU for the cultural welcomes, which will be in the spring. And then her committee also started reaching out to students for the Cultural Unity Showcase. And then on to our chair of elections. So this week she looked at vendor prices for her main 3-day voting event. She also followed up with Kiri to get a response on the Canvas for the Canvas Big Pulse. She also met with Daniel to discuss her merchandise, attended one interview with Sheen for her remaining election spot, and then looked at vendors for her fall event and tabled at the DPR and Donuts event with her committee members. For next week, she's planning to have her committee meeting, meet with James to discuss event planning, and then meet with Denise to talk about her budget. And then on to our chair of outreach and recruitment. This week, she conducted Lobby Corps interviews and sent out offer letters. She also conducted interviews for senators, and she worked with the AS marketing to brainstorm some new ideas on how to promote open positions. She also updated the website and the open position flyer. And lastly, she scheduled interviews for next week. And for next week, she plans to hold those DEI interviews and spots for the finance committee and senators. And then she's still finalizing her committee members' schedule. And then give me one second. And then since our Attorney General's not here, I'm going to give his report as well. So this week, he sent out individual emails regarding personal attendance and additional emails about the professional dress code, which the Vice President mentioned. He also attended internal and external affairs meetings. And he wasn't able to attend university affairs because he was in DC. And then he also mentioned, I will be out of the office from Thursday to Monday due to Model United Nations, which they all did really well, by the way. And then he'll be discussing resolutions with Chair Basilio concerning funding for the cultural homes and is planning a meeting with President Saravia and Vice President Jimenez Aragon to further discuss the resolution. He also took the minutes for the external affairs meeting and is still getting up to speed with procedure. Overall, no, that's all. All right, that's all for his report. Thank you.
Yay. Are there any questions on the Chief of Staff or Cabinet reports? Okay, seeing and hearing none, we will move over to our Chair of Finance Tourette's report.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. So let's start off with our balance account. So in our STAR account, we have $185,852. In our unassigned contingency, we have $575,602. Fill fund, we have $6,600. Our clubs and organization travel is $21,640. Over the week, I continue to review and process funding requests. I had my one-on-one meeting with the Chief of Staff, and shout out to him because I had to reschedule like 2 times. So thank you for your patience. I had my finance 101 makeup sessions last week, where I had a few students attend because they did not attend the MIC conference. I also attended the internals meeting and collaborated with Senator Gabriela Figueroa to engage with the sports clubs and identify how AIs can better support their needs.
as for upcoming events, this Monday at 1 p.m., we'll have our finance committee meeting. And on Friday, I will have my CFAC meeting. Now moving on to the Assistant Chair of Finances report. Over the week, we had our Finance Committee meeting on Monday where we reviewed and approved 2 supplemental funding requests from AS Productions. I also attended the University Affairs Committee meeting and had my one-on-one with Chief of Staff Jeremy to discuss ongoing updates. Last week, I attended the Cabinet meeting, and this upcoming Friday, I will be attending the University Planning and Budget Group meeting. Lastly, I will present the Finance 101 makeup session on November 19th. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions on the Chair of Finance or Assistant Chair of Finance report? Senator Quiroga,
Point of personal privilege.
granted. We will now move into standing committee reports, starting with External Affairs, which will be read out by the Vice Chair Garcia.
Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone had a wonderful and restful weekend. I know I did. I'm gonna just get right into it. We have 4 legislative referrals in committee at the moment. Our artificial intelligence survey has been finalized and can be viewed by the public, so please feel free to share it among your constituents in order to get constructive feedback. Last week, we tabled indefinitely 2 legislative referrals. We tabled 2025-26-015 investigative CSSA's CSU Undocumented Student Advisory Council proposal. This is due to Senator Gavino's recommendation, since we will be referring to this to a future call to action. We also tabled 2025-26-018 evaluating required visual AI generation by students due to the finalization of the AI survey. We won't be able to work on the referral at the moment. But yeah, thank you so much, and come visit us at 4 p.m. on Wednesdays in the USU Executive Board Room at 4 in the afternoon.
Thank you. Are there any questions on External Affairs report? Vice President Geminiano Aragon.
Shout out Senator Garcia for chairing the committee last week.
Okay, if there are no further questions, we will move into Internal Affairs, which will be read out by our Vice Chair, Vicente.
Give me a second. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Honestly, just for the report today, we just discussed the increase in senator stipends, and we also reviewed cultural house funding. And finally, most of our members are meeting with different AS departments just to get to know each department and tell them that, you know, we are here for them for any projects they want to do. So, yeah.
Thank you. Are there any questions on the Internal Affairs Committee report? Okay, seeing and hearing none, we will move over to University Affairs Committee with Chair Umana.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Hope everyone is well. So last Wednesday, I attended CSUN's Night Safety Walk, hosted by the CSUN Environmental Health and Safety Department. I'm happy to say that the Associated Students DEI Committee was in attendance as well. It was great to see them there. Our goal was to take a night walk around campus and pretty much survey for any hazards, such as uneven pavement or poor lighting. I also sat through the DEI committee meeting last week along with Senator Dominguez. Last week, University Affairs continued our discussions on the various legislative referrals in the committee right now. We're currently trying to get in touch with other CSUs in regards to our club storage referral, just to see if other campuses have a system in place for their clubs. My meeting with Physical Plant Manager Director also helped us come to some conclusions on some of our referrals, namely the Open Doors legislative referral and our Hard of Hearing accommodations referral. And then I've also delegated some tasks, and I asked my Vice Chair, Senator Quiroga, and Assistant Chair of Finance, Gali, to attend today's Finance Committee, just to follow up on our custodial fees referral. That's all I have. As always, University Affairs, we have the best interest of students in mind, and we will continue to work hard to make sure we follow up on our referrals. University Affairs meets every Thursday at 4 p.m. in the executive boardroom. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions on the university committee report? Okay, if there are no questions, we will move over to our AS Executive Director Allen's report read out by the team oh my gosh, the Tim Shapansky.
Thank you very much. Well, let's start out with a couple of shout outs to the Detroit Lions, the LA Chargers, and the Indianapolis Colts as well, because they won. Unfortunately, the Steelers did not. But yeah, we want to get everybody involved here. We have a big sports team here, so within our organization. So next week is Hunger and Homeless Awareness Week, November 17th through the 21st. So there is a flyer that's out with the different workshops and information. Last week, I attended the Oasis's 10-year anniversary. I don't know if any of you have been there. I was there when it first started, and I haven't been there for a while, and it was quite amazing to see what they've turned that space into. And so that's for you all to find a place of peace and relaxation, especially when times are hard and times are tough, school and work and family. But another thing we want to make sure of is that we're prepared to help other people if they're also struggling. So if you want to look at the UCS, University Counseling Services QPR training, which is question, persuade, and refer. It's a good tool to have in your back pocket to help people if they're struggling, whether it's now, whether we're moving into the holidays can be rough for people, but just kind of anytime it'll get a good tool for you. There's a virtual session that will take place on December 1st from 2 to 3:30 p.m. if you are interested. Last week, we attended the kickoff for the Giving Day 2026. So we got a bunch of information from that, and we're working on our different departments to prepare materials so that can go out. Holiday schedule. So tomorrow's a holiday, so make sure you enjoy that. November 27th and 28th is also Thanksgiving Day break. So that's a Thursday and Friday that the campus will be closed. And then December 25th through January 1st is the winter holidays break. So I hope you all enjoy that. And last thing is today we'll have the delegation of authority on it'll be presented here today, and we can talk a little bit about it. And just preparing you for next week, we should be putting the AS travel policy and bring it to the board. We're almost done with the draft to send off to you all. And that is all for today. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Okay, are there any questions on the executive director's report? Senator Quiroga.
Person recognized.
Granted. We will now move over to our University Advisor Butler's report.
Good morning. No report.
Okay, thank you. We will now move past unfinished business into new business to approve the following appointments for lobby court. Is there a motion on the floor? Senator Romana?
I move to approve the following appointments. Line item 1, Susan Laporte for lobby court member, and line item 2, Chindindu Okereke for lobby court member.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Diaz Gomez, is there any discussion? Okay, seeing and hearing none, all those in favor of approving both Susan and Chindu into lobby court, please raise your hand. Okay, this passes unanimously. Congratulations to both of you. We will now move over to line item B to approve the delegation of authority. Is there a motion on the floor? Senator Umana.
I move to approve line item B to approve the delegation of authority.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Dominguez, is there any discussion? Go ahead.
Thank you. So a delegation of authority is something that you and us as a board of directors and a nonprofit have to have in place to actually operate as an organization. So just a little bit on this is there's some responsibilities that are laid upon you all that are outlined in this. And then what we have on the back end is a group of people who help support you all in your roles as leading the company. And one of the big spaces that we found, well, we've been talking about it for a little bit during our compliance audit, is just certain documents we didn't have in place. So what this is doing is outlining your role into our executive director's role, all the way down to anybody who works in the organization that spends any type of money, whether it's on their credit card, whether it is programmatic. The main piece is really the executive director and you all granting them the ability to operate the organization on your behalf. And then what they'll do is they'll push it out to who would be me and Kevin and John and Lionel, who would then, and then it'll move down to our employees from there. And I think the last thing is you'll see on there is the form as well. And that will be signed every year. So we're going to set this for a renewal date in June when the new board comes in. And so the new board every year will have to approve this policy, so that giving that if anything changes, there's a review of the policy and then the acceptance of it, granting us the authority to spend money on your behalf.
Thank you. Are there any questions? No? Okay. Seeing and hearing none, we will move over to a vote. All those in favor of approving the delegation of authority, please raise your hand. Thank you. This passes unanimously. We will move past information items, past discussion items into legislative referrals. I have 5. So we will start with Senator Atias, titled Student Feedback on Academic Advising Practices. The request is as follows. Many students have brought up concerns regarding the current academic advising practice at CSUN. I would like to propose conducting a student-wide survey to gather feedback about advising accessibility, communication, and overall effectiveness. The goal is to identify recurring issues and highlight ways the university can improve advising quality and student satisfaction. This was suggested to go to External Affairs. It will go to External Affairs. Now moving on to our second legislative referral by Senator Atias, titled Religious Accommodations in Campus Event Scheduling. The request is as follows. Some major campus events have been scheduled on dates that overlap with religious holidays or observance days, which can limit student participation. I propose that CSUN establish clearer guidelines and a review process to help prevent future conflicts between campus events and major religious observances. This would support inclusivity and ensure all students have equal opportunities to participate in university activities. This was suggested to go to External Affairs, and I will send it to External Affairs. Next is one submitted by Senator Contreras, titled Recurring Loss of Access to American Journal of Public Health Impacting Public Health Majors. The request is as follows. Student and professors in the public health major at CSUN frequently lose access to the American Journal of Public Health via the university library's virtual library system. This publication is an important academic and professional resource for students studying public health. Every semester when classes try to use AJPH, especially during class time, the vendor blocks the university's proxide IP traffic, which means they can't get in. There is a temporary solution, but it takes away class time and it is unlikely to work for regular classes and students who need to do research off campus. This was suggested to go to University Affairs, and it will go to University Affairs. Okay, the next one is by Senator Umana, titled Committee Town Hall. The request is for University Affairs Committee to discuss a town hall for spring break. This was suggested to go to University Affairs and it will go to University Affairs. The last one is by Senator Arias Gomez, titled Accessibility Update Maps. And the request is updating the campus map visibility with all the accessible resources on campus. This was suggested to go to University Affairs and it will go to University Affairs. Okay, again, just letting you guys know that the last day to submit legislative referrals is going to be Monday, the 17th in the morning, as our last Senate meeting is the 8th, and by the 8th, all committees should have at least have tabled or resolved any and all of the legislative referrals. Okay, but that is about it. We will now move over to announcements. Are there any announcements from the board? Chief of Staff Boberg?
I already said this, but shout out the Model UN team and shout out the 2 senators and the 2 cabinet members that are in it. They also won Outstanding Delegation and they won several paper and Bestel awards as well. So
Yay. Okay, are there any other announcements from the board? Senator Umana?
I will announce it today and then also announce it next meeting, but me and my co-senators event will be next Tuesday, November 18th, pizza with the deans and senators. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions from the or announcements? Chief of Finance, Chair of Finance.
Women's rugby had their first home game this Saturday where we won 60-5 against Occidental College. So shout out the women's rugby team.
Thank you. Are there any other announcements from the board? Okay, seeing and hearing none, we will move over to final roll call.
Vice President Jimeniano Aragon,
Here.
Senator Abrams,
Here.
Senator Arias Gomez,
Here.
Senator Atias, Senator Basilio, Senator Cabrera Figueroa, Senator Contreras,
Here.
Senator Cunanan, Senator Dominguez,
Here.
Senator Garcia,
Here.
Senator Gavina, Senator Cacharia,
Here.
Senator Carca,
Here.
Senator Mane,
Here.
Senator Quiroga,
Here.
Senator Ramirez,
Here.
Senator Umana,
Here.
Senator Vicente.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you, and I will now adjourn this meeting at 9:55 a.m. Thank you so much for making this meeting short, baddies.
Submit your reports